Yeah, so
We
we'll
could choose
rotate it, because
Yes.
if we have them always on Thursdays, there's certain people that just are never gonna be able to
Right,
make
that
it.
makes sense,
Yeah, like you, for instance.
Right.
So we do maybe a Tuesday this week, and then 2 months later, we'll do a Wednesday, and then 2 months later, we'll do a Thursday. Does that make
Sounds like a
sense?
plan.
Definitely.
But weeknights are good? Like 6 to 8? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does
Maybe
anybody?
not.
Does
Usually
anybody
it's
have-
6 until whenever anybody
Sure.
leaves.
Does,
Yeah.
does 6 o'clock on a weeknight, is that too early for something?
We can make it later.
We can make it later. So
I would prefer it 6, because then I can go directly after work, whereas if it's 8, well,
Yeah.
and if I wanted to stay to work till 8 o'clock,
That's pretty
I found
late.
6 works pretty well. People tend to show up between 5:45 and 6:30.
That would work for me,
whenever they
right?
get off work,
Yeah.
and that way they don't get distracted by going home,
Right.
and yet they can go home at a reasonable hour.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
most people will have to work the next day.
Yeah,
So let's,
if I were gonna do it, that's much more likely to work for me.
okay.
Because, I mean, especially depending on when the venue was, cause I get off work at 4:30 and so just traffic trying to get someplace like that.
Makes sense. So we can go, let's schedule the first one right now for,
My best weekdays would probably be like Tuesday or Wednesday, and downtown on
it's
Wednesday.
not a problem.
May I just also say that on the first Friday in November, we will have a board retreat, so our 2 additional board members will be here.
Yeah, but let's look for,
If
let's
that's
look at one
something-
early in, let's look at, something in October.
October?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So,
First week of October is good for me.
we shouldn't have it immediately after the.
Fair enough.
After the, after
The
the.
second week in October is good for me.
Yeah, seems
Actually,
reasonable.
any one of those nights, because I have to be home all week that week.
Okay. So Tuesday.
Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday?
How's, Thursday's difficult for, so
Okay, what,
Tuesday, how's
10th, 11th, or
Tuesday,
12th?
how's Tuesday the 10th for everyone here?
I don't know what my schedule's gonna be like at this point until I find a place to live, so I can't say that I'm gonna be available for much of anything. And I know I'm not available for that, the first Sunday in October.
Tuesday,
meeting
10th of
either.
October, you said?
But
10th of
Tuesday
October.
the 10th.
Tuesday's Toastmasters night, but that's okay, I can miss a meeting.
Or if it will be difficult to do.
It would not be difficult, it just, if we
Yeah,
did it
every
every
week.
Tuesday, that might be.
How's every week?
Oh, no.
No, we will rotate it.
We'll rotate it and we'll change it around.
And everybody won't be able to make every event.
Yeah, but let's try to make,
Yeah.
It would be fun to
see
make the
if,
first one, yeah, to kind of see how it
see if
goes.
everyone here can make the first one.
October,
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
10th?
Tuesday the 10th of
Yes,
October?
yes.
Okay.
6
So-
to 7:30?
I will find a location and I will
that
post
was
about that.
6
on
to
the
8, is that what you said?
6 to 8?
6 to 8.
So-
You don't have to stay for the whole thing.
Right.
You can get there early. I'll usually arrive at something like this by 5:30 to make sure that somebody's there when everybody arrives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I will try to stay until everybody leaves. Occasionally you'll get people that'll close the bar. I'm not staying that late. But they can, that's fine, but yeah.
So let's orient toward food rather
Okay.
than like restaurants rather than bars.
Okay.
They tend to be so that people can have a meal and stuff like that.
Oh, I'll make sure there's food. Yeah, there will always be food. Even if it's a bar, it has to be a bar that serves good
Okay,
food.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And
So
then
confused when
fine.
bars don't have food, I'm like, so you get drunk, but there's like not even a
Yeah.
food?
No, there has to be food, yeah.
Okay, that's totally fine, as long as,
Yeah.
as long as it's like.
There doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol, but I will say things go better with alcohol.
I'm fine if it's a place that serves alcohol, that's
As long as
totally
you
fine,
can
as long
get
as there's
snacks.
also food and it's quiet.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
get back to you on location and
Excellent.
everything as soon as
Winking.
possible.
Winking Tavern, like whatever.
Yeah, Winking Lizard tends to work well.
Something like that.
I've been to these things all over town. I mean, I
I'll-
spent
Oh,
years
no,
doing
I'll
it.
good
schedule-
location. Yeah,
I'll
I don't have my calendar.
Yeah, I'll schedule.
Does anybody care where in town we have it? Because my inclination is
Probably-
someplace between here and Upper Arlington, because that's where I live. But I don't know where the rest of you.
I work right downtown.
Okay.
so Broad
This
Street.
location actually works
I
well
work right
for.
downtown.
This
Several
works
people will be coming from
works
downtown.
Well, because all people will be coming from downtown,
Uh-huh.
so between here and OSU,
Okay.
like here or between. here
Somewhere up and down
OSU.
High Street, because there's lots of locations on High
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah,
Okay.
Between here and OSU works well for me too.
there's the, gosh, what's the place that's opened up recently, right north of, just north of the Park of Roses?
Just north of what?
Opened up, Rusty Bucket?
Rusty Bucket.
I know there's a
Oh,
place
that's
that's
the
like.
The wine press, well, that may not be.
Oh, they
that
have a
way.
separate room, I don't know if it's expensive to reserve.
What's the bucket opened up?
You don't necessarily need a separate room, as long as they'll take
Yeah.
a reservation.
It would be better if we had a separate room.
It
so-
would be.
So check if the Rusty Bucket here, which has a separate room, it's in the right location.
Okay.
Yeah, a bunch of places.
And where is that here?
It's just north of
What's
the
up?
Whetstone
It's right
Park
across the
Roses.
street from Fifth Third Bank in Clinton.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like near the
like
intersection of Glenmont and High.
So is that considered B12?
Yeah, it's just south of Beach
Okay.
Road.
Just south of
It's,
Beachwood.
it's
so
south
just-
of Crosswell Road,
Yeah.
it looks like.
Yep.
All right. Got it. I will check that out.
Okay.
And I promise, if I'm organizing it, I'll be there. If I make that level of commitment, I promise I'll be
We
there.
believe you, Tim.
We believe you.
Excellent. Awesome. Party time. And that's the day after Columbus Day, that's the day, because the second Monday is, I think, Columbus Day.
Is it? Okay. Are we still celebrating?
I don't know.
In Columbus.
But I know when I just moved here and I went to the VMV to get my registration on Columbus Day, it was closed, that was pretty ironic, like I live in Columbus.
We might as well celebrate Columbus Day and pretend that it's not about Christopher Columbus and it's about the city instead, I don't know.
What's the rest of it?
Just seems like such an odd holiday.
It is another
Yes.
holiday.
Yeah.
Well, there's places now changing it to indigenous peoples.
Yeah.
Day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's any better when it comes right down to it.
It's a big, you know,
It
it's,
seems like a cop-out because we're trying to make up for
Yeah.
Columbus Day, but.
it's a big issue going on,
Yeah,
not
no, I
just
agree.
in the US, it was a big issue in Australia when I was living there too, so. And didn't get resolved.
In the year you lived with.
I mean, they could just make it like a more Memorial Day or something, like, I don't know.
Well,
Sorry, I
that
got
just
us
makes
off
it
track
sad.
there, didn't I?
Well, that makes
That just
sad,
makes it
yeah.
sad. Alright.
Alright, so
So-
that's cool.
So great, so it
Nice,
sounds like
number
we have,
10. So we can put it right now in the Facebook group so people can start planning for a
I
fun.
prefer to have.
Let me find a
place
location
secure.
first.
I
Yeah.
prefer to
I'll
have
get
a
back
place
to you in the next
Probably.
week
Oh,
or so
yeah.
at most.
No, I'm just like, let's get people excited.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Yes, place secure, then we'll do this. Alright, so let's review plans for the upcoming month. So we're on the same page about, so that's the kind of next stage in the plans. So, Duff will look and organize the social event and he took on the role of social chair. Great. So Michelle will look for Presbyterian committee contacts.
Well, I'll look for all the major mainline denomination churches. I'll start with Presbyterian, but I'll try to get you, I'm not sure how
Excellent.
much else I'm gonna be able to do this year, so I will make this my goal for the year, so.
Excellent.
Just trying to get your foot in the door of these places and hopefully exponentially increase our volunteers.
It might be a model that could be used throughout the country too, right?
That's exactly what I'm
That's a good
thinking.
point, and that's a lot of what we're trying to do here,
Yeah.
like,
Model.
Like
That tends to be my
Yes.
gift, is to think of, you know,
Excellent.
Yes.
bigger picture,
Systematic.
so.
Perfect.
we try to make a recipe for all the other local
And
groups.
Steve will look on for Hands on Ohio and other volunteer organizations. Great. Harry will start doing the oval signature
Yeah.
gathering
Mhm.
and also work with Malik on the LSU committee, so which you're heading. Great. In the meantime, I will look for other volunteers who aren't here, who will research speaking opportunities at senior centers, adult education centers, and service clubs. And we will all, to the extent that we're capable, continue signature gathering at various events that other people who aren't here are doing research on.
Well, that's the other reason why I think it's important to keep people's weekends open, you know, with like having the social events during the week and, you know, other kinds of meetings if you can avoid it, because those are gonna be when your biggest opportunities are gonna be for
Sure.
signature gathering,
Absolutely.
so.
Great. Okay. So those, let's,
Did we talk about signature gathering that people have done recently?
Looked like you did some.
I did.
yes.
The little
yeah,
feedback.
We talked about it earlier, so you can share.
Yeah,
your-
again, I apologize for being late. The Democratic, let's see, it was Reynoldsburg Democratic group. I can't remember exactly what it was. Corn roast, very friendly group of people. I got like one person who didn't want to sign. There was a politician who didn't sign but looked very interested, wanted to talk to her steering committee first. That I said, sure, makes perfect sense to me.
course.
Did get two politicians to sign. I'll talk to you about them. The ones
Yeah,
marked P
I'll
on the
look
side.
at
And they were supposed to have written down what they're running for. Most of them were local people.
Two of them wrote down, but then one on the top, I'm not sure what this means.
I don't
It
either. I'll
says
take a look at it.
Mildred Johnson and Steven Secar, Democrat.
Mildred Johnson is the one who didn't sign.
And the Republican, is she running against Steven Secar?
Yes. She wanted to know if we were gonna go to him too. I said, hey,
Of course.
we'd be happy to. Tell me about their
Okay.
organizational meetings, tell me when the
Right,
Republicans
yeah.
get together, we'll go talk to them. A number of people asked me, are you going to everybody? I said, yes,
This
absolutely.
isn't, it's a non-denominational,
So I'm just adding this, she'll consider signing
non-partisan
PTP.
organization.
She'll consider signing it either way if her
Yes,
committee
yes,
says so.
Yes.
But I think she wanted to know that we were gonna go after them too, and that
Of
would
course,
make them,
going after everyone.
that would make her happy.
Great.
So,
The two politicians I got to sign had
One
no
is
problem with it.
school board and one is city council. Very good.
Perfect.
Nice. And
So-
we have 3 people who are interested in volunteering. One of them after campaign
Yeah.
because she's running.
Yeah, okay. So where are we with signatures? Do we know?
Yeah, do we know what our total is?
our total current is, you could vote out.
1962 or something on the website
Excellent.
for the whole.
Yep, and we've been
Approaching
focusing,
2,000.
yep, and we've been focusing on, yeah, we've been focusing also on gathering more organizations. So now we have something like 13 organizations that committed, and altogether 132 of those are public figures.
1965.
Yeah.
So this is updated in real time as people.
Yes.
I guess as people sign up via here, but the.
Yeah, those need to be entered. Yep.
But we'll be 10
So we
shy
have-
after we enter those that I just handed you. I think
Wonderful.
there's 20 I
10
think there's
shy,
25
2,000.
in there, yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
And we have 32 government officials, so 32 various public officials, candidates, and so on. Good.
I thought I was gonna need that information. I was on the way when I asked you, and I didn't see your IM until afterwards, because I got
Okay.
distracted by the whole social
Sure.
thing, and I didn't need it. I said, yes, there's plenty of people that have signed that are politicians, media
Absolutely.
people, it's all on the website, you can check it out.
Yeah.
And they were like,
Exactly.
okay.
Did anybody like express an interest in checking out the website before signing, or?
Yeah, a couple people took the sheet and they said, usually it was spouse signed and then the other one would say, well, I'll take the sheet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
give
fine
them
with that.
the
You one of
flyer.
you's in, so that's gonna be far enough probably, but the other one will get in. One guy gave me a really hard time. I think he was just messing with me. I mean, because after a while, his wife said, well, give me the sheet, I wanna take it home. His wife was sitting next to me and he was sitting over here and there was another woman there and she had already signed. And he's just arguing with me about whether this is gonna do any good and all the usual objections. And his wife turned out to be sitting next to me. She says, well, you give me a sheet. I'm going to take it home and check it out. And the woman across from him, these are all in their 60s, all 3 of them. And she says, you got to ask your husband first? And she's like, oh, yeah, right.
Nice.
And that shows that it's like great to have the flyers
Mhm.
in there.
Oh, no, I always take the flyers with me. Yeah, sure, if you just want to take the
So-
flyer, okay.
Yeah, and then they can like read it, they can check the website, they can do whatever they want. Because like it is a bit of a complicated thing and as we're person may not feel like they got what they want out of it. So. Sweet, excellent,
Great.
good stuff.
Okay.
We're gonna get this in. Cool.
Next, we want to talk about meeting flow. Any comments about meeting flow?
We did pretty good, not getting too sidetracked. Mostly stick to subjects that are relevant, so.
And most of the times we got sidetracked, so mostly my fault, sorry.
Would it be beneficial or too much work to include in the agenda like the invitees? I don't know if that's, because I typically don't know anybody.
Oh,
Michelle,
okay.
Harry, and Jeff.
Duff,
Duff.
Duff,
like a
okay.
beer on the Simpsons.
And
your name was?
Steve.
Steve.
Steve Mundy is a treasurer for Intentional Insights.
Oh, okay.
We need name tags to go.
That's
You know, I
actually
mean,
not
like-
a bad idea.
Oh, we can
my name
introductions
is-
in the beginning.
Hello, my name is.
We can do
My name
introductions. Yes.
When we do the socials,
Yeah,
I will
that
have
might be
name tags.
Excellent, awesome.
Very nice.
In N-Spirit, you have a name tag that's made of plastic that you're supposed to wear to everything you go to. So, we would just show up with our name tags here. Here, I'll bring little, hi, my name is tags.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes,
That's-
Toastmasters is real big on making sure everybody has met everybody before the meeting starts, and it's just a way to kind of just.
A lot of
Can or whatever.
small group organizations work that way.
Yeah, I think it's beneficial.
The better introductions.
Yes.
That would be my advice.
Good introductions. Better-
Especially some of us are sort of introverted. I'm kind of
Sure.
an introvert, and
Help the
you know,
That's-
it's
that's-
helpful. You know,
Yeah, I think-
I'm not too shy where I want to introduce myself, but.
I suddenly realized I'm not sure if I know everybody's name here either. Let's see. Webb, Steve,
Duff.
Duff.
Steve.
Webb, Duff, Steve, Agnes. What's the first letter name? I think
Michelle.
Dang it, you said
The first letter is Michelle, and then the second.
You're supposed to let me figure it out to remember better next time.
Okay, sorry. We'll have our own director done.
All right. And finally, warm fuzzies for everyone. So share something recent about the Pro-Truth Pledge in Ohio that makes you excited, and acknowledge another member for something they did. Let's see. I want to acknowledge Jeff for gathering the politician signatures. That's great. And that's something I'm excited about, so that we're getting more public figures as well as private citizens on board. So that's great. I'm pleased about that.
I've been enjoying the Facebook page, although I don't always comment. I've been reading a lot of it, and Wayne's stuff has been really interesting.
The group, you mean?
Yeah,
The group, right?
The group, yeah.
Page, not group. Yes, group.
Wayne Street.
Yes.
Yeah, you were mentioning him earlier. I've read a bunch of his things, and
Yeah,
it's,
he wrote a few blogs for the Pro-Truth Pledge
Yeah.
blog
Mhm.
about.
and I think they posted on the Facebook page, didn't they?
Yeah, we cross-post.
Yeah. I mean, you cross-pollinate on everything. So yeah, that's that I found that interesting and
Mhm.
enjoyable to read, and it's educational to watch the comment streams and see what the arguments back and forth are.
It's my apple.
It shows strength in the
That was
organization
mine.
that we're willing to
Yeah.
argue with
If
each
you
other
wanna
and
take
still
it
get
with yours,
along.
it's okay.
Absolutely.
I'll hold it out for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um,
One thing I got excited about recently and shared it with Glad and maybe Agnes is that Stephen Pinker, somebody that I really admire, is a signatory of the Pro-Truth Pledge. I thought that was
Yay.
Yeah.
very, very cool. Someone to acknowledge. I don't know who did the graphics. I think you probably mentioned.
let's see.
Lexi
You know,
and
So
so
stuff.
Michelle's daughter.
Oh, really? I'm really impressed with that. It's really professional looking. It makes it a lot
She's-
easier to present
she
the
is
whole
a
idea.
professional,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really looks nice.
It's her
Really?
full-time job.
Yeah. Those are fun. Yeah. I am excited that we will have a social and that I don't have to organize it. So thank you, Duff. That's going to be fun. And I want to acknowledge for Michelle for, I was trying to look into all these like religious kind of governing bodies so we can like wholesale try to go to leaders. And I want to acknowledge you for trying not to be too perfectionist and feeling bad.
Yeah.
Because your life comes first and your health comes first.
Yeah.
And you can look up these places, that'd be great.
I missed that part of the conversation real quick. I know a priest. Is that shooting too high?
No, we're actually,
Not too
that's
low.
not high enough, that's too
Oh,
low.
not high enough.
I'm trying to go to the regional governing bodies.
Maybe you could put it, is the Catholic Church a target?
Catholic Church is on my list.
Do you have somebody already, or?
Well, I mean, I'll talk to your priest, he could certainly give me an insight
I'll
to
ask
one.
him.
If you can get your priest to take the vote.
But I wanna
That'd be a
know
good
is the
start.
leadership,
That would be a good start, so.
Yeah.
The leadership
if
of
you
the
can get-
leadership.
if you
I'll
can-
start there, I'll ask him.
Yeah, and if you
Excellent.
could, and if he takes it, then.
yeah, I'm
that'll be
looking
good.
for the level of leadership that deals with the leaders of each individual churches where they come together at big meetings and then they take stuff back to their congregations.
Don't know how that works? I'll get him to
So-
take the pledge and then put him in touch with you.
Yeah, he'll know how that
Yes,
works,
Exactly,
yeah,
so that's really good.
so.
The Pope, maybe.
I touched the Pope
He
once,
seems like a
that's
pretty
just-
approachable guy. Right?
Let's just call him up. Let's tweak him.
Up for that?
Let's do
Let's
it.
do the Pope.
Will that actually work, or?
Who knows?
Let's try.
Go ahead.
Well, I continue to just be amazed that, the energy keeps moving forward, and I was really like blown away at all the recent engagements you had and the talks you've given and stuff, so. Kudos for your energy for both of you for continuing to do this and for Duff for trying to make social inroads and connect the group in a deeper way, and appreciate you coming from an actuarial standpoint and going like, all right, so I don't wanna just know about the money piece of it, let's see what
well,
this is
yeah,
really all
right.
about.
Yeah, exactly.
See where the money goes when you.
And Harry, I appreciate your interest in this from, doing education recently myself, getting my graduate degree last year. I know that sometimes that's enough to lose yourself in, so.
Right. And I would like to give fuzzies to Gleb and Agnes for providing food at pretty much every meeting.
Helps, right?
I know, right?
Are those the apples from your backyard?
Yep. You have to,
No,
any worm
not
detection
yet.
has to be reported.
No.
They're not, you're back here?
These are not, yeah, these are,
Now,
I'll finish.
now
Are we
we're
done?
finishing up. Yes, we're
Okay, I'm
done.
gonna stop. It's on Beaumont and Indianola.
There's 3